Have you ever started dating a girl and you were so enraptured by her gorgeousness that you were not aware that she was absolutely f***ing crazy? So many of us, when we're looking for new partners, we just go around finding new people. It's all very exciting, but we don't notice all the little red flags that are popping up that should alert us to the fact that we're going to spend the next 6 months in misery. I'm Duke Deleat for the Attractive Man team, and today on this video, we're going to give you 6 dating red flags that you can look out for so you don't spend all this time doing stupid crap that was not useful for you, your heart, or your relationship. Make sure to stay to the end of the video, because at the end I'm going to give you 2 ways to make sure these flags are real when you see them. I'm Matt.
Many boot camps encourage men to be assertive.
My name is Josiah.
Josiah is a master at day game.
Loved it.
4, 6, 7.
We've done all the testing. We know what works.
A few years ago, I had a friend. He was a tall, good-looking Croatian guy, and he hit me up for help. He's like, let's go get girls. So we jumped in the car, went to the nightclub. I taught him a few things, and lo and behold, he started getting dates left and right. But he kept getting in relationships with girls that would do crazy shit. They'd call him up every couple of hours trying to figure out where he's at, always keeping tabs on him, like throwing tantrums in front of everybody, trying to make him look bad in front of people, and just doing overall nonsensical stuff that doesn't really belong in a mature relationship. One girl in particular would just nag him over and over and over about spending time with her, and then when he wanted to spend time with her, then she would always be busy or marginalize him off to the side. And he got so frustrated, he was like, what is the point of dating all these girls when I can't find one that fits? Just because she's hot doesn't mean she's compatible with you. That's an important word, compatible. If you're gonna spend a whole bunch of time with somebody, you gotta make sure that she's qualified to be in your life. So what's the purpose of dating? So we go out, we talk to new people, we get caught up, and we do this all to start dating. What's the purpose of dating? Well, we here at the Attractive Man team think that dating is for qualification. It's to qualify whether or not she's compatible with you enough to keep in your life. She's got to be compatible with your status, like she's got to kind of fit in your world. She's got to be compatible with your values and standards and belief systems, so that she's not thinking something totally different over here than you are over here, and then she screws with your mission. And you've also got to be sexually compatible. Now, relationship goals can vary. I mean, you could want a wife, you could want a girlfriend, you can want multiple girlfriends, you could just want a whole string of one-night encounters, whatever kind of relationship you're looking for. If it's going to carry on more than once, you can future-proof that relationship by looking for one of these or all of these 6 dating red flags. First red flag, she has an external locus of control. An external locus in psychological terms means that she puts her control in the hands of something else, another situation, another person, another inanimate object sometimes. She'll blame her parents, she'll blame her work, she'll blame all the people around her, she'll blame anything but herself, and she won't take responsibility for building and creating her own life. I get it. We're living in the world, all of the stuff's going on around us, people say things, cars are moving by, temperature changes, bills are coming up, all of these other external things are happening around us, and we have to deal with it. That's life. But when we place the control of our emotions in some other place, and we give that responsibility to control us, then we don't have responsibility for how we feel and act in the world. And when you meet a girl who does that stuff, she is very quickly likely to blame you for the problems in her life. That's gonna come up after a couple of weeks. It might come up right in the beginning, you don't even see it. But if she starts to blame other things for her issues, like if she's late, she blames traffic, she blames the alarm clock, she blames the dog, she blames her roommate, she blames whatever. She's also gonna blame you the next time, and then the next time, and the next time. If that becomes consistent behavior, she is going to create so much drama because she refuses to take responsibility for her part in the relationship, and then the relationship is neither mature nor balanced. Also, if you're not subscribed to us, hit the subscribe button and click the little bell so you get a notification every time we release something new. We're doing it like twice, 3 times a week now. Dating red flag number 2. Her social group's values don't match your own. Now, when you get caught up in a new relationship and everything's great and your eyes are all wide and the oxytocin's running and the dopamine's running and everything's like, she's so great, you're future projecting off, holding hands in the park when you're old. that's going to burn off eventually. And when you're in that state, you're more likely to act in ways that she expects. And conversely, she's more likely to act in ways that she thinks that you're going to like. And that's just kind of how we build rapport as humans. If you go and hang out with her friends and you realize they have completely different value systems than you, chances are she has completely different value systems than you. She's just not showing it, or you're not seeing it because of all the, oh my God, she's amazing things that are going on in your brain. If her social group has different values than you, the people who've known her for years and years and years and years, chances are she's that kind of person, not the standout in her crowd. Conversely, if you hang out with her friends and all of her friends talk smack, and they're like, so you're dating Katie, so what do you see in her? And they kind of clown on her in the public spaces, and she's kind of the low status of their group. Then she's going to see, chances are she's not going to bring you around those people. But if she unabashedly brings you around those people, and those people are like, yeah, you're out of her league, that's a big red flag. You should listen to that. And you should explore more why her friends think she's a tool. Dating red flag number 3. She acts entitled to all of her requests. Now, I understand confidence. I understand pride even. It's okay to live in a space where you expect things from people. However, those things should be earned. You can tell in the way she treats people of lower status. The classic example is like how she treats the waiter.
You are a moron.
If she expects things from him and she talks down to him as it comes back. If she talks about her friends in the same way, like, well, they should just do this and they should just do that, man. That people always need to call me first and all that stuff. She's going to end up doing that to you once the initial attraction burns off. And if she started acting entitled around you, she's more likely to put you in a zone where you're starting to provide, and then start chasing after her, which will kill the attraction, even if that's something that you wanted to do. Dating red flag number 4. You two are actually incompatible. So many people, they'll roll up, they'll talk to each other, they'll have a nice, beautiful evening wherever they met, at the nightclub or whatever, and then they'll go off and they'll consummate everything. They'll get all connected and intimate, and then they won't realize that they were actually incompatible on a fundamental basis. Signs for this are you argue all the time. She's always criticizing everything that you're doing. She doesn't agree with your mission and your purpose and the core things that you're doing with your life. And she doesn't listen to you when you talk about your passions. These are things that you guys can't fix. She can't just be like, oh, I'm going to be a little bit more attentive to his passions. Yeah, honey. No, if she's into you, she's into you. If she's not into you, she's not into you. And many times, people are into each other for the feelings they create for each other. And a lot of times for their own personal validation. It's like, oh, look, I have a hot girl next to me. Look how important I am. And it may seem kind of sad from an external judgmental perspective, but most of us do it all the time. We have good days and we've got bad days. And on our bad days, we tend to like, maybe I could have a little validation. That's kind of normal as a human self-worth thing. So a lot of times we'll date our partners for the feelings or the status or the validation that they give us. And we won't pay attention to the fact that they are actually themselves and we don't actually get along with them. So watch out for signs that you're not actually compatible, and you'll go a long way into not dating somebody who's bad for you in the long term. Dating red flag number 5. She sucks at relationships in general. You can see this in relationship with her friends, relationships with her family, how she talks about her ex-boyfriend, how she talks about her friends' ex-boyfriends. You can see her views on how relationships work, how communication works. Now, there's not necessarily right or wrong to this, but how she communicates should either be as good as or more effective than how you communicate. That way, the communication stays balanced and you guys can actually get to know each other without all of these weird, dramatic, significance things happening. So you can tell that she sucks at relationships in general by hearing about how she talks to her family, how she talks to her friends, and how she talks to her exes. If she has commitment issues, you'll be able to see that if you just pay attention to it. If she has a string of bad relationships and she keeps doing the same thing over and over and over again, you can pick up on that if you aren't just blinded by her beauty and her awesome girlness and just pay attention. And when you pay attention to that stuff, you can pick up, oh, she tends to do things like this, and I'm kind of the next one in the line of these things. She's probably going to act very similarly. And the 6th dating red flag is she plays power games. People look at life in a number of different ways. They look at it as a game, they look at it as a competition, they look at it as a collaboration, they look at it as an experience, a journey. There's all these metaphors to use for life. But if she looks at life as a competition where she must win and everybody else must lose, she will do things that will hold her power over you on a constant basis. Relationships should be a back and forth. Whether or not you look at it as a competition or not, it should be fairly balanced as it continues to move along, and no one person should be dragging the other person along. You know, in the initial attraction phase, we say make her chase you and all that stuff. But in any sort of relationship where you're becoming intimate, that intimacy will die if there's too much of an imbalance in the power dynamic. So if she starts to play games, especially like if she withholds sex, or she's super violent, or she flips out and starts screaming at you to get you to shut up, any of those types of just over the top responses, those are not real. That's not her natural way of doing things. She does them because it gets her in the winner position. It gets her in the higher power seat in the relationship. So if she exhibits all that stuff super early, it says a lot about how she's going to treat you later on in the relationship when the relationship gets deeper and more invested and more settled in. She's going to continue to do those types of power games later on, and they're just going to be more and more intense as you begin to challenge her for her role of power in the relationship. A lot of girls, because they've been hurt so many times, they don't trust themselves to make good decisions with mature relationships. And so they go into relationships trying to maintain a one-upmanship over their partner, just so that when they cut bait and leave, they don't have to feel responsible for giving up too much investment or too much of their heart into the relationship. Now, spotting these red flags can be pretty tricky because people are pretty dynamic. But if you know what to look for, you can get pretty good at filtering people out who aren't compatible with you. So if you're taking notes, write this thing down because it'll help you be sure these red flags and you're seeing them is super simple. Tip number 1, look for consistency. If she does these things over and over and over and over again, then obviously that thing is a pattern. So look for consistency. However, if she does it 1 time or 2 times or very infrequently, then you can't really count on the fact that that's her normal behavior. Sometimes specific situations or certain stressors will bring up a type of behavior because she's handled it in normal life, but then she gets something that she's not expecting and she'll flip out in a little way. I mean, I still do this, and sometimes when I get super panicked. I have a mentor, his name's Johnny Saporno, and he says that a sample of 1 only determines that the behavior exists, but it's not sufficient data to determine frequency. And that's it, right? If she flips out over something, or in a particular situation where she's super tired and she acts a certain way that she doesn't normally act like, you don't just pin her down and be like, oh no, red flag, get out of my life. That's bad news. We don't want to do that. But if it happens over and over again pretty consistently, you can be pretty sure that it's going to continue to happen over and over again on through the rest of eternity. And if you're okay with that, then you're okay with that. But if you're not, then get out. Verifying red flags number 2, communicate early when you see things happen. Just call it out. Be like, hey, I noticed you did this and I don't understand why anybody would do that. What's going on? What's going on in your head while you're thinking that? And she'll either respond, she'll not respond and blow it off, or she'll cut you off and punish you for calling up something that's been a problem her entire life. And gauging by her response, you'll get a feeling of how she's gonna continue to handle these types of situations as you bring them up. Like if she has something that you and she are not compatible with, and then you kind of bring that up and she flips out like crazy and abuses you, then obviously, you're going to want to know that as you carry on a future relationship with her, because any little thing that you guys disagree on, she's going to become abusive, and that's not acceptable to me, and I sure as hell hope it's not acceptable to you.
This is unacceptable!
So you've been going out, getting dates, and now you know what to look for so you don't get stuck in a crazy, time-wasting, long relationship that isn't good for you. If you're not getting dates, check out Matt's video where he shows you how to go from the approach all the way to the date and shows you exactly what to say to keep a sexual vibe going so that you can get the date super, super quickly. Check out the link in the bottom of the video to access it. Go check it out now if that's your problem. And if you want to train live with us, click the link below because we're going all over the world doing live workshops, probably in your city. Till next time, cheers.